Hello and welcome to lesson 1 of week 1. My name is Mildred. This week we are going to look at what relational database is. We are going to look at what SQL is and look at MySQL database management system. And then we are going to look at how to write comments and basic queries and look at the different operators that MySQL supports. In lesson 1, we are going to introduce relational database management system. Look at the basic syntax. In lesson 2, we are going to learn how to query a database. In lesson 3, we are going to take the query further by querying a database conditionally. And in lesson 4, we are going to look at how or the various operators that is supported by MySQL. You are here means that you have installed MySQL Workbench, and we are going to start using that. So open up MySQL Workbench. For the first time, you should see no connections there. I have 3 connections because I have used this previously. If you want to connect to a database, you can click on database at the top and connect. Then you can select from the drop down menu of the databases you have connected to previously, or you just leave the default one. You'll be prompted to enter your password that you created during installation, or you can click on the plus sign beside MySQL connection and enter the name for a new connection. You might want to test this connection before you create, and so once you do that, you click on test connection and then enter your password, and then you should get a success message if this test is successful. And then now you can click OK to exit and click OK at the bottom right to create. Once you click OK, you should see a new connection added to the list of my connections. Click on that. By default, you have some sample database installation when you installed MySQL Workbench. We are going to be using the Circular database to test how to read databases and run our queries before we learn how to create our own databases. Now, what is a database and what is relational database? Think of the playlist of your favorite songs on your phone. The playlist is a database because it holds data. The songs are related by genre. We can have songs in the category of blues, of rock, of hip hop. A database is a structured collection of data. Now, because the data are related by nature, we call it a relational database. A relational database stores data in tables, and the tables consist of rows and columns. Now, SQL stands for Structured Query Language, and is the standardized language used to access the database. So we can look at SQL in 3 parts: the data definition language part, the manipulation language part, and the control language part. And we're going to look at these in detail as we go along. MySQL is a database management system that allows us to manage these relational databases. Now look at how we write comments in MySQL. We write comments to leave a note on the page, and we don't want these comments to be executed. And so to write a single line comment, we use the pound sign and then we write a text. So the system looks at this, and when we want to run this, it doesn't execute that line. But if we go to the next line, it becomes an error because the pound sign or the number sign or the hash sign represents a single line comment. If we want to make the comment span multiple lines, we use a / and asterisk and all of the comments and the several lines we want to write, and then we end with an asterisk and a /. And so these are the standard ways, or these are the ways that you can write comments in MySQL. There are other ways, but these are the ways that I prefer to use to write comments. Now, anytime you have a block of code that you do not want to delete, but you want to leave it for later use, you can comment them out by using this comment. If it's a single line of code, you can use the pound sign. If it is multiple lines, you can use the / and an asterisk at the beginning, and then at the end you use an asterisk and a /. This is where we end this lesson. Thank you, and see you in the next lesson.